shocking revelation that the University Hospital of the West Indies abused its tax-exempt status to buy things for public sector companies or individuals, costing the country over $22 million that we know of. Only that we know about. It's likely much more, as you will see in a moment. It says the University Hospital of the West Indies inappropriately used its tax-exempt status to import goods for private companies, resulting in losses totaling $23.1 million. Customs records showed that items such as office furniture, laundry, medical equipment were declared as hospital imports. But when them look on the inventory, the records showed these were not acquired by the hospital and were instead obtained by private entities. The Auditor General said this misrepresentation is a breach of the Customs Act, resulting in over $20 million in unpaid import duties. Section 209, subsection 1 of the Act prohibits false declarations on customs documents, with violations subject to fines or prosecution. The first and most important thing to know is that we have no idea at this point how far this went. What the Auditor General found out looks like it's just the tip of a very big iceberg. Look at this. The report said, right, they got a data set of 2,991 import entries. So the data set is nearly 3,000 import entries they were looking at for this period of time. Can't look at all of them because it takes a lot of time to do the tracking. So they selected a sample of 20 out of nearly 3,000, right? Specifically imported equipment and other goods for detailed analysis to see whether or not the hospital could account for these items. Bearing in mind, by the way, this was a whistleblower issue. Somebody messaged or called or emailed the Auditor General and said, look, something now go on here, so on the need for come look. So based on that, they had these 3,000 import entries. They said, let's look at 20 for detailed analysis to see whether or not the hospital could account for these items in light of the allegations received. They said they identified discrepancies with 8 of the entries, including one that the whistleblower did tell them about. They said because of constraints in resources, scope, and time, they couldn't do a bigger sample size. But they said the seriousness of these findings warrants further investigation to determine the full extent of revenue losses and to address any potential misconduct. Absolutely agree with this. Nearly 3,000 entries. They said, let's look at 20 of them. And they found discrepancies in 8 out of the 20. That is 40%. In 40% of the entries they looked at, they found discrepancies. So